10 seconds.
It was powerful, actually. And just real quick, you know, when you have a real bad day, right? And as a real man, you feel like everything's on your shoulder, right? Especially when you're first ready. You know what I'm saying? So when I was looking in that man's eyes, I seen pain in the man's eyes. Not just pain of death. You know what I mean? And sometimes you don't want to be looking at another person or another person to see. That's why some men keep their head down. And my father, I'm my biological father, always tell me to keep your head up because your crown will fall. And I never try to keep my head down, but at that moment, I just wanted to keep looking away. Yep. So it was powerful.
Appreciate you sharing.
All right, let's go.
Any sisters want to say how they felt?
Any ladies, how did you feel? Somebody say, so the ladies feel good doing the exercise?
Hold on, we got somebody in the back. Hold on.
Hold on, everyone. Sorry. Okay. It actually felt really nice just to be connected to my friend here, and it also felt interesting because we were both moving a lot and smiling in each other's face. So it's kind of cool to just be able to be themselves. So it kind of.
All right. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. Now, the next exercise I want you to do is you got a mask. Everybody should have a pen. On the front of that mask, I want you to write all your strengths.
I got you. You have one.
On the front of the mask, write all your strengths. And tonight when we leave, we're going to leave here powerful and strong and on a new journey. We normally start this conversation with a testimony. Kenny likes to talk about self-divulging. We got two strong men in here.
Self-divulging, JC.
Yeah, man, you like to tell the story, testify.
I am a preacher's kid from Detroit.
So you know he got issues. You know what I mean? He got issues. He's a preacher. Grandfather was a
Preacher's grandkids. And they're both cops. On top of that. So.
Totally jacked up.
And God sent me to you.
Okay.
To give you well.
Why is Jerry Saunders laughing? We're going to talk about him too.
He got a good laugh about that, didn't he?
So, one of the things that we like to do in these sessions is really have a conversation so you can see that we all are going through something at some point in time in our life. And I think that when you look at a person like Marlon, and he comes from a background, he's got fame, he's got fortune, he's got a great life. I'm blind, so I don't know if he's ugly or nice looking. And then you got a commissioner.
Ask him, he stared in my eyes for about 10 minutes. So. He said, ask Kevin. Hands in voice.
I heard Kevin couldn't look at him. Kevin kept turning his head. You know, when you can't look at a person, that means you're hiding something. And Kevin's a politician, so we know you're hiding. So, I'll give you a little example. So, a couple of months ago, about almost half a year ago, Kenny and I was flying to Dallas, Texas, to our office in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, we want to do this one.
Yeah, we're going to do this.
All right.
And so I heard this,
It wasn't that bad.
and I said, I didn't know what to say. Because we were just talking about the email he got. And I heard it. I said, was he asleep?
No.
And then so I didn't know what to do. And then I heard the flight attendant came by and said, sir, are you okay? And so I thought, well, maybe somebody died. I don't want to ask because he ain't telling me. And so then I said, King, was you crying? And he was like, he looked up this word in the dictionary and it said perfectionism. And that he got a revelation at that point in time that he was a perfectionist. And a perfectionist that he was a people pleaser. And because of that moment in his life, he couldn't please a specific person. And that person really, she was really like Satan in his life. Because she was Satan in my life too. I just didn't let her bother me. He could not win. And he just could not win. But he realized at that moment that he was what was you saying?
What's the question, JG? What was it?
Yeah.
I will tell you, I think you used a word in that description this time that really just jumped out to me. When you said that somebody died. Somebody did die. The old me, that person, that version of myself. I released all of the desires. I finally surrendered. I finally just said, this is my truth. I'm not perfect. I got 196 emails in my draft folder because I'm afraid to press send because I don't want to be ever nothing but less or just, I want to be 100%. So I don't want you to read my email and think that I was grammatically incorrect. I didn't want you to read my email and say, he sound like you got just a high school diploma. So all that is going through my head and it's causing me to be stuck. And I'm just living inside of my own quicksand. It's a self-inflicted wound, self-inflicted grave I found myself in. So 30,000 feet up in the air, yes. 5:30 in the morning, I'm boo-hooing on my way to Houston for a real men, real talk to pour into other brothers, and I need to be poured into. And so that was the only expression I could give in that moment was to cry. I feel like crying now because I feel like I get to celebrate the willingness to be vulnerable enough. So we laugh, like JG and I laugh about this, but I really do thank God for the opportunity to be in a space where I am 30,000 feet up, sitting next to somebody that's saying, brother, it's okay for you to shed these tears. Because he didn't say, what's wrong with you? He said, why do you ask for help? I said, try asking somebody who thinks that they got it all together for help. Do I look like today, brother, like I need help? No. Oh, I got it all together, don't I? And I don't. From all parts of my life, I got areas that I can get better at. But I want brothers in this room to understand this today, 7/17 is your opportunity for you to have your 30,000 feet up in the sky moment where you shed those tears. And you break away from the chains and the cycle of being a people pleaser and being a perfectionist. Because you can't even attain perfection. So I'm chasing something that doesn't even exist, lying to myself. Fellas, tonight I want to challenge you. If you're dealing with this and you can resonate with this, only person that you need to please, number one, is God. And that second person, get yourself in front of a mirror and begin to please that person. Not spouse, not kids, not mom, not dad, not friends, not family, not co-workers. Begin to focus in on what God wants you to do. But then ask yourself, what do you really want so that you can live your most authentic life?
Because 16, get that brother around the Black men, black boys between the ages of 14 and 24 have the highest incidence of suicide. The highest incidence of suicide. I was at a conference about 3 months ago, my wife and I, and there were like 7 families in the room where their young men had committed suicide. Black men in Franklin County at the age of 40 and over have the highest incidences of opioid overdose. When you are smoking and drinking and doing things to cover up pain, you are killing yourself. And so when you get on the airplane, on this King's thing, the flight attendant says, put your mask on first. And I'm blind. And when they come to me on the airplane, they started pulling down things and grabbing my hand. And I'm like, I'm depending on him. And the lady's like, no, he has to put his mask on first. Because he needs to be okay. And you need to figure out how you put your mask on. And so, Marlon, has there ever been a time in your life where you just didn't have it all together? Movie star, all the fame, you come from a fame family. What is there any time it just wasn't perfect in your life?
I would say probably every day for the past 5 years. I had a perfect childhood. You know, I grew up in a house with legends. I'm a lucky little boy that have known so many greats. I knew greatness at a young age, from John Witherspoon to Eddie Murphy when I was 8, Jim Carrey, Jamie Foxx. I grew up with Dave Chappelle, all my friends, right? And then my mother died. And all those things that poured into me, my mother was my everything, and I never really, I knew what she meant to my life. But when she left, it broke me into a million different pieces. And then 5 years later, my father died. Or 3 years later, my father died. And that was me, it had a different effect. I started putting myself together piece by piece to be a better version of the broken self that I was. Because God took me through this synapse to grow. And I'm still on the healing journey. You know, like I said, it was 5 years ago that I lost my mom. And I've come to know God. I got 2 therapists, not one, I got 2. I got a male therapist and a female therapist because I want to know that I'm being respectful to both sides and to both sides of me, the masculine side and the feminine side, and that I'm.
Stay right there, because most black men don't understand that there's a masculine side of you and there's a feminine side of you.
Yeah.
Black men are 80% masculine and 20% female. And females are 80% female and 20% male. And so, how did you come to realize that?
But that's where vulnerability lives. That's where tears is. Tears is beautiful. You need to cry every day now, but if you need to cry, you got to empty your cup. Your cup can only hold but so many marbles before you have to let it out in some kind of way. My life right now is staying in peace. Right? So I get up. The first thing I do, I say, I'll walk for a half hour, go get me a green juice, I walk back home. So I'm taking, and right in that moment, I'm getting rid of toxins. I'm talking to God. I'm having my time for me. I'm putting me first, my health first. I'm 53. I got to make sure I'm trying to be a movie star for the next 30 years. You know what I mean? These are my 30s. And so I think it's important for you to physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually pour into you so that you can pour into everybody else in your life. And you know, say I'm the baby of a big tribe. And Keenan was a great trailblazer for us. But Keenan over now. I'm Keenan for my next generation. So I got to make sure that I'm in the right space because I got to carry the rest of this legacy.
Talk about,
Let's go.
let's talk about that legacy experience of Marlon. Could you talk about how you...
But before Marlon gets there, we're going to let Kevin get off now.
I wasn't going to let him get off. I just...
And ask Kevin, Kevin, now, do you ever have any vulnerable moments?
Never.
He was a politician.
That's the Christian voice there.
Yeah, I mean, I like Marlon. Really, every day has been that. I think for me, to be honest with you, my journey has just started. Went so long concealing and putting the real feelings and real issues that may have happened to me at a younger age away, kind of locking them up in a lockbox and keeping them deep down inside. And it wasn't until a divorce a few years ago that I really started to see both my own faults, my own experiences in life that have shaped me, and more importantly, how I handle things today. This is the first time publicly I've admitted that I'm in therapy, and it's not been an easy journey, to be quite honest, and I'm still learning. And I would say, I follow Marlon on social media with some of the posts he's been doing because I've picked out a few people that I feel like connect with the same age, and so that's helpful. But to be really honest and frank, I'm probably at the infancy of my journey to be connected to my mental health, and that's why I feel like these conversations are so important, because I feel like an infant where every day I'm absorbing so much and growing so fast that I almost don't know what to do with it. And so when you ask me, am I feeling vulnerable? Yeah, every day. There's not a day that goes by that the more in touch I get with my feelings, the more I struggle with the journey.
How many brothers out there struggle with being vulnerable? Is there a show of hands?
It's quite a few.
Vulnerable.
Yep.
Marlon, no, let's talk about Kenny.
Yes.
Why do you think brothers are afraid to be vulnerable?
Unfortunately, we think that it's just a sign of weakness. And that's a lie. It's really a sign of strength. It's a sign that you've actually arrived to a place where you feel strong enough to even say, hey, you know what? It's time for me to open. It's time for me to let something else in. I was interested in learning a little bit more about, we expose brothers to talk therapy month in, month out, all across this country. But we are also connecting brothers, hundreds of brothers, to therapists. But there is a hesitancy for our brothers to want to go to that next step. And so for Marlon to share that he doesn't have just not one therapist, he has two. And he's trying to carry this baton that's been passed down to him. And I'm curious to see if we can really open up and talk to these brothers about the importance of therapy and what it's really doing to help you go to that next level. Because the conversation is one thing, it's what are we doing after that conversation?
You know, a lot of it, I think, is historic, right? A lot of what we inherit as black men, we've been taught throughout our course of history. You know what I mean? You understand? From slavery, we are so disconnected from ourselves. Slavery, you wasn't allowed to talk, you wasn't allowed to cry, you had to be strong. Boy, you better be strong. The white man see you doing that, he's gonna beat us up. We are taught from that time not to do this, not to do that. Then our parents, have to, in our household, teach us to be strong. And sometimes, and it takes a long time, but that was then. And we're healing inch by inch. But now, it's not to own what was. We have to create what it can be and what the future is for us. And that's to acknowledge where we at, why we are the way we are, and give ourselves some grace and some space. Acknowledge that we can be better. And as fathers, when we pour into our children, it's not, boy, don't you cry. Hey man, you hurt yourself, come here, it's okay. It's okay, let it out. You good. You ain't a punk because you cried. You hurt him. All right, you feel better now? All right, now go out there back on that court and kick some ass. But you have to allow yourself as a father to be vulnerable. You are infecting your children with you.
That's a powerful word.
So don't, as a father, be responsible. That's why I'm trying to be my best self, because I want my kids to have the best version of me so that they can be the best version of them for their kids. And that's how, if we make that an infection throughout our community, then I think we're going to be a lot better off.
Round of applause for that.
But as someone that's new to the therapy environment, let me just warn you, it's not an easy journey. I was joking in the back with Marlon about, I have a friend of mine who told me, I was telling him one day about my therapy session, and I said, well, I told him about this and that, and he said, oh, you told him the truth? She said you want to lie in therapy, you don't know that? And I was like, I thought you were telling the truth. But here's the real reality about therapy. If you are telling the truth and you are engaging in an authentic exchange so that you can grow, my first year that I was seeing a therapist was the hardest year. I would come out of therapy and I'd be frozen in the parking lot in my car for hours, processing the conversation. And then I would be kind of in a deep funk over the next couple of days, processing the information. And there were a lot of things. My father was murdered when I was 7, and I remember that experience. There's so many different things that connected to that. And to dig into those with somebody like that's a third party that you're telling and they're helping you connect the dots for why you are the way you are today because of these experiences can be a really tough rude awakening. And so I just want to warn you that it's not roses and butterflies and candy canes. It's a journey that's going to start with a little bit of pain and pressure.
And so one of the things that we don't do anytime we're in these sessions, is there anybody in the audience who, while you're listening to us, you're going to take the moment to be vulnerable and share something that you might be going through. And as you're listening to these brothers or other brothers, you might say, you know what, I'm going to share this evening because I need some help. We want you to get help. Is anyone out there got something they would like to
There's a
share?
gentleman that just stood up.
Brother right there. Well, first that one. Last year. You, yeah. Hold on, you gotta leave your microphone.
My name is Rayshawn. I'm part of the We Are Linden. So I lost an uncle yesterday, so I'm dealing with that from a heart attack. Oh dang, my heart's beating too. Oh.
got you, brother.
So yeah, I'm just dealing with that. Me and my family, we're putting together a GoFundMe for him. He had like, I believe 3 kids, like one is 5, 2, and 1. So like, they're pretty young. And yeah, he was like my mom's little brother, and he lost his life yesterday. Oh, he was 31. Yeah.
Let's give that brother a hug and a round of applause. Anyone else?
I can share something. Yeah,
Let's get him first over there.
you can come over here.
Well, I just want to address that, brother. Just, I would say you just inherited 3 kids. That you're not the father, but that you could be an uncle too, and that you could be an example for. And you allow those things to motivate you, and make sure that you're present in their life, and that you can be. This is sometimes a calling to adventure, right? Things happen. And sometimes they happen for a reason. And it's not about what happened to your uncle, but it's what's happening for you. So instead of being broken by this, let this experience make you the man that you're trying to show up to be for your family. And you may be the Kenan of the next 3 generations, even though you're an uncle, your big brother, your young father, you're practicing. So go be your best son.
Let's go.
I would like to challenge the men in the room. And 2 is that I think that there was a young man that stood up. And so I think some young, mature, older men ought to go embrace that young man and get his phone number and make sure we're following up with him to make sure he is okay. Because he won't be okay. He might have 3 kids, but at 19, you ain't ready to be a dad. So if we got men in the community, let's make sure we go follow up. And so, Mark.
You got 2.
Oh, you got 2 more?
Yeah.
Remember, we want to start with an I statement. Talk about yourself.
So my name is Prophet, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. Last year I had a mental health crisis to the point where I contemplated jumping off of a bridge and just being done. Life insurance policy, family, ill gods of family, things like that. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not the most perfect person. Matter of fact, kind of wild. But despite all of that, I still choose to move forward because I kind of like want to see how this ends naturally, at least for me. And so I've taken steps to, and this is to the jargon of everybody. They're like, black people don't need therapists. You don't really need a therapist. You're a man. You got tough for that. I can tell you guys right now, I can't. I wish I could be here and pretty much say that I can do this. I can tough it out. I'm the guy like who a lot of my friends, they see me as an inspiration for hope because I don't know how to stop moving forward. But the truth is, sometimes I don't. And so you are or you off? But with that being said, I can also say this, like after the whole bridge incident, I decided to check myself in. I decided to basically start taking the steps that I needed to get that mental health. I'm now seeing a therapist, I'm seeing a life coach, and I'm also doing homework towards bettering myself. I'm establishing the boundaries that I need to establish, and just overall, I constantly move myself forward. So while I'm in this state of being vulnerable, if I have anything to say to anybody who's going through any type of situation or any, situation remotely close to mine, put one foot in the other and remember that the reason why you are here is because you value yourself and those who you are around value you as well. And that's it.
I'd like to really applaud you for you being in that situation and acknowledging that something isn't right. And for you to go seek help because I've had people that I've loved and they go too long without getting the help that they don't even know they need help. And I think that is God whispering to you, and I'm so proud of you and happy for you for doing the work. And that is the first step, brother. God bless you.
So Marlon, how did you realize you needed help?
Because I was broken.
I know that people say that. So that's the word, I was broken. What does I was broken mean?
I had those thoughts. What if I jump off this roof with thoughts? I lost 65 people I loved, including my mother and my father. I had a daughter that transitioned into a son. All this was happening to me at one time. And I was just like, God, are you kidding me? And so I was feeling mentally unhealthy. I had the world on my shoulders and I had no outs. And I thought I was this strong, like superhuman, but I wasn't. And I realized I needed help. And there's only three things that's going to get me through. One, I'm grateful to have a great sense of humor. Everything that hurts me, I go, what's funny about this? And I put it in a comedy special. So I did a special called Good Grief, and it's about me dealing with the death of my parents. Doesn't sound funny, but man, it was hilarious. And no, but that's just it. It's funny because my mother died. I was like, damn, I got 45 minutes of really dope material. And I was like, but I need an hour and 15. And then my father died, and I was like, oh, thank God, there goes that other hour. But my art, right? The fact that I get to take this pain and pour it into something like my art, right? I think the fact that I go to therapy, that I'm taking my cup and I'm unfilling it. And then I got God. You gotta talk to God. You gotta keep God present in your everyday life. Because God, therapy, artistry, and healthy guys will keep you smiling, or at least attempt to keep you smiling.
And Kevin, when did you decide, you want to tell us something, you disclosed in therapy? We'd like to know.
He's like, how do I top suicide after 65 people, man?
No, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Again, I think the journey is also very personal. And for me, it's still a work in progress. I have very vulnerable moments. A lot of, you may think you know Kevin Boyce, but you don't. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't question myself, my existence, my love. When you ask about mask, to write the things on the mask, and these are things that I think of myself. I don't know if other people think about this, but I wrote intelligent. I think I'm intelligent. I'm definitely hardworking. I'm definitely competitive. I consider myself to be fearless. There's not much that intimidates me, and compassionate. On the inside, and this is where I think, this is way longer. And I had to stop writing because I was starting to feel the negativity even from myself. But some of the words I wrote were, I'm very pessimistic. I'm always the glass is half empty. I'm seriously impatient. I'm overly competitive. I know I'm competitive on the other side, but competitive is a double-edged sword. I'm very self-conscious. I hold grudges, and I can be unforgiving. And I don't like those things about myself. I want to be forgiving. I don't want to hold grudges. I want to be able to move on. And I'm growing into faith, John, where I'm trying my best to just be a better person. Try to really stay in touch with who I want to be. And try to take a step every single day to get to that person. Marlon said something on a post that sticks out with me. He said something like, he's 52. And he said what he realizes about life is that he has more years behind him than he does ahead of him. And so he said, under no circumstance am I letting anything get in the way of my years ahead of me. and something like that. And I embrace that at this stage of my life. And so I do a few things right. There's a couple of good things about me, but I can assure you, I'm still very much on the early part of that journey and that pathway. You know, you're taping this. I don't know who's gonna see this. You know, my next opponent may be just sitting in the audience like, "Yeah, got you. I got you." You said.
I'm trying to figure
You can't talk about optimism all the time. And you said you was a pessimist.
Here, you take my mask. That's crazy stuff about me.
And then he got like 2 negatives on the inside and about 30 positive. But I'm working to get there though. And that's what we all should be. Focus on the good things and continue to. I'm gonna keep this mask and I'm gonna keep writing on it. And I'm gonna keep trying to achieve the positive outlook and the positive direction in my life. And I will continue on the inside things because I want to get rid of some of those things too. And so I'm going to keep using my mask and keep working on it. So maybe you see me in a year and won't know where to write. But I think it's a good exercise for the journey and pathway.
And so tonight, as we, what time is it?
It is 8:20.
As we get ready to come to some kind of conclusion, we want you to do something. Everybody, you should always strive to be your most authentic self. Your most authentic self. So we're going to ask you, that song says, I want to introduce myself to myself again. And so there's some ways and things that you need to put into your life to do that. One is you got to learn to say no. One of the hardest things for us to do is we will not say no. We say no to things people ask us to do something. We know we don't want to participate. We know they don't like it, but we got to learn to say no. And the way you learn to say no is you set boundaries. And you got to set those boundaries to say, you know what? I love myself, and if this is not making me feel good, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And that's for a lot of people. That's with your parents. Sometimes that's your spouse. That's your kids. It's all of that. You got to set the boundaries for yourself. That anything that violates it makes you feel differently, you got to say no to it. And as black men, as we gather ourselves together to create a better life for ourselves, we got to learn to be vulnerable, open, and open up enough to talk about stuff. That's why today you're going to have an accountability card. And we're going to ask you to choose a brother that you might not even know the brother, but get his name, his address, and his phone number. And during the course of the year, from this time to this time next year, we want you to keep up with that brother and call him up and just say, how you doing? What's going on with you? Because it is important that we all get emotionally hit. We do a walk where what we know now is that out of 10,000 black men we screened, 85% of them had high blood pressure. And 56% of them didn't even know. Which means they're walking around, 50% of those men are walking around about to die, about to be a Jamie Foxx. And we play with that. The first part of this year, we're going to walk in Houston, Dallas, Philly, and Chicago. And our Houston executive director is here today from Houston. He will tell you that 90% of the men we screened in Houston had high blood pressure. 90%. We're doing a project, intervention research project with Ohio State. We've been able to lower everybody's things. Their cholesterol, their glucose. We can't get that blood pressure to go. So black men, take your medicine. But the other part of that is take your medicine for mental wellness. Spend some time loving yourself. You know what? I've been a dad for a long time. And I tell you, my kids, I love my kids. I really do. Most of the time. But, one day my son said to me, and see, kids will say this stuff to you. Well, you treated me like shit. And I was like, huh? We went to a private school? You done lived in Paris. You done wore some of the nicest clothes. I kept you from, you wanted to be a dope dealer, and I kept you out of jail. And I treat you like shit. You know what I had to say to him? Hey, I did the best I could do. And the best I could do for you wasn't good enough for you, fuck you. And I had to mean that. And sometimes in your life, you're going to have to tell some people, fuck you. Because they're not making you feel good. And so you got to make a commitment to yourself. If it ain't making me win, I'm not going to do it. And when he told me the other two kids felt the same way, I called them up. And they said, we ain't said nothing like that. So Kenny, as we close, and Marlon, as we close, and Kevin, as we close, Kevin, thank you for coming. We appreciate that.
Give them a round of applause.
And if you got a grudge against me, please stop it now.
So you tell me, fuck you? Nah, we good.
Take me on to this.
I can call my kids right after this. Dude. Hey, fuck y'all. Hey, motherfucker too.
Yeah, I said that first. So,
the quote talk about to further what you were saying is my quote that you was quoting earlier was, I was in a relationship and I was being mistreated and undervalued. And I was doing everything I could to make this person smile and happy. And it felt like everything I was doing, their whole thing was not to be happy. And to feed off me, it was like someone just taking your life force from you. And it was like I was given to a bottomless pit. And it kept messing up my evenings. I'm a happy dude. And one day I was like, look, I'm 50. If God blesses me with another 30 years and I live to be 80, that means I got more days behind me than I do ahead of me. So which means that time is my most valuable asset. Never mind clothes, never mind money, the most valuable thing I have is my time. I will not let you ruin another moment. I can do bad by myself. Because when you're lonely, the only company, now I can really focus on me and my smile and how to be the best version of myself that I could be. And that young man that came up first that said, hey, I want to be a boss. What you did was you chose a path for yourself. The first thing you have to do when you're trying to be successful in anything is you have to say it out loud and let God hear you. And then from there, you got to do the work.
Go.
So you're going to be a boss, not just in this world, but you got to be the boss of yourself. You got to do the work. And what that young man did right there by acknowledging that his illness and that he went and started getting the help that was necessary and needed, I commend you as well, because that's the other part of success, is doing the work. So all you young people in here or people that are dealing with it, it's okay to not be okay. Okay? Just go do the work. God loves you and so do I.
Y'all feel good tonight? Y'all feel like I can go out and start over? We want this to be the first day of the rest of your great days. So from this point on, I wake up every morning and look in the mirror, and I can see in the mirror, the only thing I can see, I can. And I tell myself, hey, you are great. I was blind 9 years ago, and my wife told me, she looked at me and she said, what you gonna do? I said, get up and go to work. Because I knew what she was going to say. You gonna lay around here. She didn't feel sorry for me. She was like, figure out how to get down the steps. And I did. So I still look in the mirror. So when y'all wake up in the morning, start with an affirmation. Start with that affirmation. I look in the mirror every morning. I stop in the mirror and I go look and I go like, okay, whatever I look like, I'm great. And I'm wonderful. And Marlon said something that's very powerful. And I deal with this every day now. I'm like, I'm 70. And when I hear somebody say they died at 73, I'll be like, that could be me. So I'm trying to have it every day is a great day for me. And Kenny, And Jerry Saunders, look, if you all need some mental wellness help, we have a mental wellness agency at the Afro-Centric Development Workshop with Jerry Saunders as the president. We will get you the help that you need. You don't have to do this journey by yourself. And we got some, you can get some free mental wellness counseling over there too. Jerry is ready and prepared. Jerry, are you ready and prepared?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, let me say that loud enough. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's make a commitment. Black people, black men, we got a place. Every month, we have a Real Men Real Talk conversation. And brothers come together and we talk. And we talk. And brothers come and sometimes they say, I'm feeling good. Sometimes they're not feeling that great. But we give you a chance to be bothered. You have a community. We have a social media page you can join. How do they join the social media page, Dr. Henry?
We have nearly 1,000 men on our private Facebook group. So each of you should receive a resource card with a QR code to join our private online Facebook group to continue that community conversation online.
Dr. Henry, you doing good tonight?
I'm doing great.
We didn't get your testimony tonight.
Oh, listen, we don't got time for all that.
Late time.
And Kenny, what would you say that, what was the one thing that you have learned?
Man, hanging around with you, I will share. It's funny because Marlon is saying a lot of things that he said that he's not going to do anymore. And I joke with JG all the time. JG is a man of what I'm not going to do. He says no to a lot of things, and he doesn't really say what I'm going to do. He just has decided in his mind what he's not going to do and what he's not going to allow to stop him from going to next levels. He's very competitive, and so I'm learning a lot being in close proximity. And what I would share with you brothers in this room, drop those egos and get yourself in close proximity with another brother that's further down the road than you are.
Let's go.
Because I promise you, if you decide to let your ego go, if you decide to be humble and have some humility, God is going to open up some crazy doors in your life for you to just walk right in because of your ability to say, you know what, it's not even about me. Right? But it is about you because you're able to say to yourself, I'm in a space now where I want the information. I want the feedback. I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm not a people pleaser. So get into a mindset, fellas, of saying what you're not going to do. And tonight is a great night to decide. I'm no longer going to let people talk negative to me. I'm no longer going to allow myself to let whatever has happened in my life hold me bondage. I'm talking from experience. I'm not even talking just to preach and tell you something. I'm talking to you because I'm actually having to apply this in real time. So I'm doing Real Miracle Talk around the country, but Real Miracle Talk is literally pouring back into me. And I thank God for the opportunity to be in this space. But I'm in a space now where I'm telling people no. I feel good about telling you no. And I'm telling myself yes to things. And I'm telling myself I don't have to do what other people want me to do. What do I want to do?
So, Duke, give that brother a round of applause. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I do want us to, we're going to leave with three things. Number one, and everybody repeat after me. Happiness.
Happiness
is a choice.
is a choice.
It is not an emotion.
It is not an emotion.
Happiness is a choice.
It is a choice.
It is not an emotion. I choose happiness. I choose happiness. And everything that was bad is behind me.
Everything that was bad is behind me.
And everything that is good is before me.
Everything that is good is before me.
And I walk in good. Everybody stand up.
And three, fuck the kids.
All right, and the other thing I want you to do, Bishop Jakes wrote a book that the relationship between Jonathan was 60 and David was 30. So what Kenny said is that find somebody that you can pour their life. But the other thing is, brothers, I want us to learn this thing right now. Turn to the brother that's next to you, or the sister, turn to the sister next to you. Look that person in the face and say, you know what? I love you.
I love you.
Now turn to the other person and turn to that person and say, you know what? I love you. And everybody repeat that, love conquers all.
Conquers all.
Love
Conquers all.
Conquers all.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I receive it.
I receive it.
I accept it. Love conquers knock us off. Give yourselves a round of applause.